Doesn't matter if you're some sort of billionaire or just getting started. If you make people feel confident and you get them informed to whether they want to buy or sell their property or even invest it, I think that's an incredible win. The transfer of knowledge and transfer of information, that to me is the greatest sign of being a rock star with real estate. Because, yeah, I think we all know some agents that do big numbers, but when you talk to them, there's not really much there, right? But you talk to someone
Right.
who means well and wants to help out. And like I said, if you can transfer that knowledge of giving them confidence, it's night and day.
Hello, good morning, and happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Justin Nimergood, your host of the Real Estate Rockstars podcast. I'm so thrilled today. We have an exceptional guest on with us, Mr. Sean Boyle. Today's guest is passionate about helping businesses and real estate professionals stand out online through cutting edge digital marketing and immersive visual technology. Sean is a seasoned entrepreneur, digital marketer, and the managing partner of Momentum 360, a premier real estate and small business marketing company serving Philadelphia and the greater tri-state area. As the owner of Momentum 360 and Momentum Digital, Sean specializes in 3D virtual tours powered by Matterport, professional photography, videography, SEO, PPC, web design, and pretty much everything else. As both a Matterport service provider and Google trusted photography agency, his team helps clients showcase their properties and businesses online while improving Google rankings, increasing visibility, and driving real engagement. Sean is also the host of the Sean Boyle podcast, where he shares insights on entrepreneurship, marketing, and building scalable digital brands. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Sean Boyle to the show.
Justin, what an introduction, man. That's probably the best intro I've had ever. So thank
You can thank my podcast manager Dion for that. He does pretty good ones, I'll say.
well,
So
thank you, Dion, for making me look good.
absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, Sean, obviously you have had a lot of different experiences and whatnot. I know talking pre-show, it sounds like you had some things that have shaped you into the person that you are, and obviously the entrepreneur you are. I know there was a situation, perhaps with a family member, that has probably been one of the things that's driven you, to the success that you've had to date. Why don't you share a little bit about that story with us and our listeners as we get into it?
Yeah, no, for sure, and appreciate the question. I probably would need a whole Martin Scorsese movie to illustrate it properly, but I'll give you the cliff notes. So, long story short, I was about 16, 17, 18 years old. I was in high school. Got a message my father was being indicted, not from my father telling me, but me actually going on the news, 6 ABC, Philly Mag, Inquirer, boom, William Boyle indicted. I was like, that's my father. What's going on here? So that led, honestly, Justin, a huge string of just motivation in me of, wow, like this is happening. Like I had to help pay bills. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to work I was already working, but even more now than ever, back then. So, I look back on those memories as interestingly very fond because I think if I didn't have that struggle, I certainly would not be at the position I am today, and we can kind of dissect kind of what that looks like. But yeah, man, it was interesting. When you're visiting your old man on the weekends and he's in the can, it's like something out of like a Goodfellas kind of movie. It's very surreal when you're there. You're shaking hands with mobsters. It's really really bizarre, honestly. But like I said, I think that quote unquote struggle and the fact that I had to just lock in and be disciplined. Call it for what it is. I had to work. I had to make money. I had to give back to the family and just for lack of a better word, just I didn't have time to screw around. So my college life was very different. Don't get me wrong, I went to parties, I was in Greek life, blah blah blah, but I definitely think it was very different than the average college guy at Penn State. I'll just say
Uh,
that.
I could imagine. I mean, what an what a thing to go through, in life, right? A situation, an event to go through, and how it just shapes your whole course of like the rest of your life from there on forward, right? Everything you maybe ever imagined just changes on the drop of a dime. And so, kudos to you for taking that situation. I mean, and this is what we see so often with the successful, most successful people out there. A lot of times they're driven by great pain, and I'm sure that's really what it boiled down to for you as well.
100%. And, it wasn't anything that I was trying to do for myself. Quite frankly, it was for the Boyle name. A reputation's everything in life, and it was tarnished. And I was like, well, crap. I mean, there's only one way I can really get out of this, and that's be a good man and keeping my word and showing up on time and doing the things I say I'm going to do at the most fundamental level. But again, you get to a place where I was getting into, where we can kind of talk about it with, starting with momentum and getting into that space, and now, becoming I was a sales intern, and then I became a partner. I think 2 or 3 years later, after I earned equity, and I am now a owner of a business. It's like, well, now I have a chip in my shoulder, honestly. To okay, I say I'm this kind of person, that kind of person. Now it's time to back it up, right? And now the clock in my mind really starts ticking. Where that, and again, I'm not doing it for anybody to prove anything. It's just for me, I had this little voice in my head saying, you need to do this. You need to prove who you are for the family, just to put us back on the map. And I still feel that way. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that chip on my shoulder, to be honest with you. It's just something that I'm using as a daily driver, you know, as a motivator, I would say.
I like the fact that you talked about the family name. That's something that it actually is near and dear to my heart. Nimmergood is a name you're not going to hear pretty much anywhere else. We're the only five remaining, mostly because we came from Germanic roots, and I think our ancestors, when they moved to America, changed their name from Nimergood to Nimmergood. But I feel a lot of that as well. Like with you, we're building a legacy, and if your legacy is tarnished, it's incumbent upon us to really carry it out in a different way moving forward. So I really love that you mentioned that there. Let's talk about momentum for a second. You guys are doing some really cool stuff right now. What's probably the thing you're doing right now that you're the most excited about?
Well, I definitely have to mention AI. I think AI has taken the world by the balls, and I think a lot of people are using it for good. And with my side of the business, I handle a lot of photo creation and video. And it's funny, I get asked on the daily, oh well, like why do I need to use you guys? Why do I can't just go on ChatGPT and make an AI image? I'm like, you could, of course you could, but it's not to the point where you would do that yet. And quite frankly, even the technology is going to get there, but do I think people should be using AI for content? No, I think you still need to have an artist, quote unquote, in place, directing, making it look good and feel good and all that, well, awesome stuff. So, in my eyes, we use AI in the sense of editing, and we have the fundamental source of we go and take a photographer out, whether it's like a real estate video or a promo video, whatever it is, and we use AI in the background to make it enhanced. If it feels in the least bit kind of stocky and kind of AI and robotic and not authentic, we cut it out because we want to get rid of that. But there are instances where we will use AI to actually make the editing better. And I think there's a lot of different styles of video now, especially with like first person drone videos and just drone videos as a whole, and different editing styles of very shallow depth of field videos that I think are really exciting. So it's only going to get more interesting as time goes on. I think with AI, a lot of people are sometimes, if I could say, scared of it, nervous about it, but you need to just get rid of that fear. You need to start using it. You need to get adequate with it. And if you're a business and you're not using it, I mean, good luck, right? It's one of those things you have to use nowadays. And we're using AI not just with the content stuff, but with websites and copy and ads and all that stuff. And it's interesting. I think AI, we're going to get to a place where, like I said, it's going to be really, really good, but we still are going to need that conductor, puppeteer, so to speak, still pulling the strings, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that, and I think a lot of most companies are in the same place. You still need someone driving the choo-choo, right? And
Yeah.
so that's well said. Now, what what are you guys? Maybe you could share one of your favorite success stories that you guys have had with one of your clients, and maybe how you were able to help transform their business, or at least transform their videos in a way that was meaningful and had great impact to their business.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I can mention the name of the client, but I'll tell you a quick story. It was back during COVID, and I don't want to get political, whether you get the vaccine or not, but I'll just say this. Businesses were hurting, right? I think we can all agree on that. Businesses during COVID were hurting, and virtual tours were very popular. That's actually how we were able, Justin, to get the inception of Momentum 360 to really take off and kind of be a rocket ship. Because I'll tell you a quick story. Before the story, I had created about 30 Google business profiles, 30 across the country. I had different techs who we had connected their address, and if so facto, we started getting reviews. And before you know it, we're getting a lot of leads for a lot of virtual tour services, and it was great. It was amazing. But you get to a place where you have a huge hospital chain
Hmm.
in the southern part of the country, and they had like 20, 25 hospitals that were just not getting the traffic they needed because they were one of these hospitals that had beds for people, but they just had a terrible online presence and they weren't being found. So it was kind of a catch 22. It was like, man, like people need more hospitals, they need more beds. These hospitals that are overcrowded, but they're can't be found because their digital presence is just not that good, right? So long story short, we were able to go in and we were able to do 25 high definition photo packages, virtual tours, drone, all these awesome things. I think we also did some virtual staging as well. Take some furniture that is,
Oh,
virtual and put it into a, hospital bed or room and make it feel more welcoming and warm. And I'd say I have to check the numbers, but within 6 months, we were able to get all of those hospitals fully booked just from those virtual tours and just from those assets posted to the website, the Google profile, the social media. So it was great. And they also used some of the content for ads as well. And I don't want to take all the credit, but it was kind of a perfect storm where that was a great case study where we were able to really make a decision and help, a lot of people who, were going through a really tough time, I would say.
yeah, and what a great example too. I think there's some moments in our life that I think most people can definitively remember. Like if you say, "Where were you on 9/11?" I think you ask that question, people will probably be able to answer and say, "Oh, I remember." Like for me, I was in high school. I was in the gym in high school waiting to be released to go to our next class, right? And I remember I was with my tennis team, and we were all waiting around, and next thing you know, we heard there's traumatic event. We rush to the TVs and we see what's going on. I think most people can say the same thing about COVID, right? It's one of those moments in time that everyone remembers, uniquely. So how cool for you guys to help in that way, that had such, I'm sure it had a great impact, right? I mean, to be able to get their beds filled, you were helping a lot of sick people, hopefully just save their life, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's really where the impact comes in, right? Like, is I want to do big things and have a huge impact on the world, and it's just one of those things for us to have that opportunity. Like I said, it was really the perfect opportunity for us to showcase what we could really do, and yeah, the fact that they're still a client of ours actually in 2026, which was fantastic. It really warms my heart, honestly. So, yeah, we're gonna keep doing that stuff and keep making an impact. But yeah, that was, like you said, it's something we're never gonna forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that's a great business example. You help real estate professionals too. Obviously, I'm in real estate. A lot of our listeners and subscribers are in real estate as well. What, in your own words, why should a real estate professional give you guys a look and even, consider talking to you and partnering with you?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm just kidding. I would say there's really three main reasons. Number one is we've walked the walk. What does that mean? Well, I define that as doing what a lot of agents are trying to do. So for me, I have multiple properties that I own as an investor. I actually used to work in the Google Street View photography team. I wasn't
Oh,
the guy
wow.
driving the car taking those kind of photos. I wasn't that cool, but my business partner worked at Google as well. So we've done it. We've worked with agents across the board, every single state in this beautiful country, and whether it's Google or social media or whatever, we've worked with, I'd say, thousands of agents. And the fact that we have that experience with Google and actually working with them with Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com, that really moves the needle. We actually just got named Inc. 5000 for third year in a row yesterday. And while that's a great accomplishment, it's something that I look to show our accolades in the sense of, hey, like this is something that we're going to move the needle. We're not some average agency, right? Second thing is really we have, I would say, collectively over about 2 or 3 thousand 5-star reviews. And granted, we're a marketing agency. You know, if I wanted to, I could buy a bunch of them, I'm sure. But we've specifically earned them very authentically because I want people to actually read very organic, authentic stories of how, kind of like I did with the hospital example, we came in and they did this and did that. And listen, we did what we said we were going to do, and we're going to get them more leads and get them booked. That's the bottom line. And the third thing is I think, especially the name of the game in 2026, I don't know how you feel about this, is just speed. Like how
Yeah.
fast you get stuff done, whether it's removing a Google review or getting an ad set up or doing this or doing that. How, can we get a photographer out there today? And just the fact that we care enough to listen, if I need to pay some extra money and eat a little bit of profit on the back end to make the client happy, let's do it, because at the end of the day, like we talked about in the beginning of the show, your reputation's everything. At the end of the day, it's the biggest thing you need to protect in this world. And if you can protect it, with just a small little thing like that and enhance it, you have to do it. You have to do it to have that next step kind of go through. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. And thanks for, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. It was more asking the question so you could really showcase what you guys do that's really unique for real estate professionals. Because I know you guys are doing some really groundbreaking stuff here. But I'll tell you there's a really marked shift that's going on in real estate, and there's going to be a lot of professional real estate agents that are going to be left in the dust if they don't get up with the technology, get up with AI, learn how to build a brand authority. I mean, honestly, this is one of the reasons why I started this podcast, is so that I could help build brand authority, and it works, right? Because what's the first thing that someone's going to do if you're their real estate agent? What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to probably Google you or look you up, see if you're worth your weight in salt. So that is so spot on. So for our listeners and subscribers out there, if you heard that, you should probably reach out to Sean and team and talk to them about helping transform or at least augment and enhance your digital profile and your digital presence. All right, we're gonna actually pivot to the final segment of the show, where I'm gonna ask you a couple fun, what I would call zinger, they're thought-provoking type questions. At least the first one is anyway. There's no right or wrong answer. Just have fun with it and answer naturally.
All
So
right.
here's the first one. Imagine that it's your last day on Earth and you can only preserve 3 items in your time capsule. What are those items and why?
Oh, man. What a great question. Are we talking right now or like Sean when I'm like 90 or I can do whatever I want?
You can be whatever age and all that you want.
Oh,
That's irrelevant. It's more
yeah.
pick a moment in time. It's a snapshot. It's my last day on Earth. I have 3 things that I'm going to preserve. What are they?
Yeah, man. Well, I'll just go with this. I would say hopefully when I'm 90, I've been married for a long time and had kids. So if I can keep a nice photo of the family and maybe my wedding ring as well, that would be great. Outside of that, I would say probably, and this might be a little interesting for you. This is, it's not a gavel for I'm not an attorney, but this is because I'm actually a member of the Lodge 52 of Philadelphia as a Freemason. And it means the world to me. It really does. So if I could put this in the
Nice.
time capsule, I think this is right up there.
Yeah.
And gosh, I would say another thing too, and I don't want to get too philosophic, is to my left, I'm looking at a cross that I bought actually in Mexico, of all places. I actually got it at this church, and it was beautiful, and it's represents. I put it on my wall every single day to represent my faith, represent, listen. at the end of the day, try your best, but none of this stuff really matters. Just be a good person, right?
Yeah,
So I would have that as well. So my family photo, this gavel, and the cross. I think if I can have that in there, that would be pretty cool, I would say.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And I'll tell you, the family photo answer, that's a pretty common one, actually. And also the wedding ring too. I've heard a couple people have said that as well. But
I was gonna
um,
say something funny, like, yeah, I'll keep my 52 degree that I chipped in on, to make it look like an albatross or something. But I was like, "Ah, that's a little superficial."
52 degree. What sticks are you playing, Sean?
Oh, well, right now I have what do I have? A Cobra driver. I've always used Cobra drivers and Cobra hybrids and woods.
What, what's it?
And then I have what do I have for my irons? I think I have a couple Titleist wedges, and then I have I think my irons are Titleist as well actually. And then I have, gosh, this putter I have, it's typical blade putter, nothing crazy. I think that's by Callaway, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've had that since I was in high school. I'm not getting rid of that anytime soon. It's like Happy Gilmore's like hockey stick. You know how he uses the putt. It's like I'm not getting rid of that anytime soon.
Putters are the one thing I feel like the technology doesn't really change much. It's all feel. So, you can have a putter forever.
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay, here's the last one, and this one's a little bit easier. But what is your definition of a real estate rock star?
My definition of a real estate rock star, I would say, is outside of the millions or billions of dollars you were able to sell, how well are you able to take someone once they first come in the door from not knowing anything to having them feel confident in their buying decision? So it doesn't matter if you're some sort of billionaire or just getting started. If you make people feel confident and you get them informed to whether they want to buy or sell their property or even invest, I think that's an incredible win. The transfer of knowledge and transfer of information, that to me is the greatest sign of being a rock star with real estate. Because, yeah, I think we all know some agents that do big numbers, but when you talk to them, there's not really much there, right? But you talk to someone who
Right.
really means well and wants to help out. And like I said, if you can transfer that knowledge of giving them confidence, it's night and day. So that's what I would
Nice.
say.
Nice. Well said. Well said. Um, where can our subscribers and listeners find and reach out to you? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, you guys can call me. I mean, the best number to reach me, I'm more of a phone guy. I like to talk on the phone. I'm kind of old school on that. Is you guys can just call me at 215-607-6482. It's just 215-607-6482. Call me. I'll be the one to talk to you guys and yeah, give you some tips and we'll see what we can do.
I love it. Old school, typical East Coaster wants to talk on the phone. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, man.
Sean, thank you so much for coming on with the show today. Folks, we had another absolute masterclass here today by Mr. Sean Boyle. I hope you tuned in. If not, make sure you watch the recording. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. Signing off, everyone. Bye bye.